Hello, BookTube. I've gone mad. I have a book haul. So, I had a book haul earlier this month when I went to the Waco McLennan County Friends of the Library book sale. And I picked up quite a few books. I put the history books I collected on the history shelf. I haven't yet put up the fantasy yet. I was going to wait until I had my final book haul of the month, and 15 days in. I wanted to push back until like next week, but I went insane. It's my birthday, so I got some birthday money in, and I bought books. I can't help it. So, anyway, I have quite a sizable number of books today, or amount of books today. So, as usual, I will start with the books I bought through Alibris, and then I will finish up with the books I bought through Amazon. So the first book I got this month is The New Weird, edited by Jeff and Anne Vandermeer. I picked this up from Powell's. I love this book. This one and their steampunk anthology are amazing. So I'm very happy to add this finally to my personal library. Good. Get the receipt out, or the invoice out. And it also comes with a Powell's bookmark. First time that's ever happened. Okay. Next up from, I want to say these came from Discover Books. I've got the Swords and Sworcery anthology, edited by David G. Hartwell and Jacob Weissman. Look at the cover. This originally came from the East Chicago Public Library, and it includes stories by, if I can find the table of contents, Robert E. Howard, C.L. Moore, Fritz Leiber, Paul Anderson, Michael Moorcock, Joanna Russ, Charles R. Saunders, Carl Edward Wagner, Ramsey Campbell, David Drake, Glenn Cook, Michael Shea, Jane Yolen, Rachel Pollack, Gene Wolfe, Caitlin R. Kiernan, Jeffrey Ford, George R. R. Martin, and Michael Swanwick. What happy. And I also picked up The Very Best of Fantasy and Science Fiction 60th Anniversary Anthology, edited by Gordon Van Gelder. I had this collection a few years ago. I want to say I picked it up from Barnes & Noble, and then I got rid of it for some stupid reason. And I've been wanting to get it back very shortly after I got rid of it. So I'm very happy to have it back. This includes stories by Alfred Bester, Ray Bradbury, Shirley Jackson, Theodore Sturgeon, William Tenn, Daniel Keyes, Kurt Vonnegut, Roger Zelazny, Philip K. Dick, Harlan Ellison, Trademark. I'm not entirely sure what the circle with an R in it is. James Tiptree Jr., Damon Knight, Stephen King, Karen Joy Fowler, John Kessel, Ursula K. Le Guin, Michael Swanwick, Terry Bison, Jeffrey Ford, Neil Gaiman, Peter S. Beagle, M. Rickert, and Ted Chiang. Very happy to have this back in my collection. And the final book I picked up from Alibris, and this one was, I want to say Owls. Daniel Abraham's The Price of War. This is the second omnibus of his Long Price Quartet. I think that's the name of it. Yeah. Long Price Quartet. I have the first two volumes in the series, or like in an omnibus edition, and I was thinking of picking up the recent sort of omnibus that collects all four, but since I already had the one that had the first two, I just decided to pick up the one that had the final two. So quite pleased. Probably I'm finally going to take the time to read that series. Now, the books from Amazon. So the first book I picked up, and it came out on my birthday, is Fate of the Fallen by Kel Cade. Look at that cover. Everyone loves Matthias. Naturally, when he discovers it's his destiny to save the world, he dives in head first, pulling his best friend, Aslo, along for the ride. However, saving the world isn't as easy as it sounds in the stories. The going gets rough, and folks start to believe their best chance for survival is to surrender to the forces of evil, which isn't how the prophecy goes, at all. As the list of allies grows thin, and the friends find themselves staring death in the face, they must decide how to become the heroes they were destined to be, or, failing that, how to survive. Sounds exciting. I can't wait to get to this. And then the four books I got in today. We have The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. Love that cover. Aaron has lived by the rules all his life. He's never questioned it. That's just the way things are. But then his father is executed for treason, and he and his best friend, Cade, are thrown into a prison mine, doomed to work until they drop, unless they can somehow break free. But what lies beyond the prison walls is even worse. Rescued by a man who hates him, yet is oath-bound to protect him, pursued by inhuman forces, Aaron slowly accepts that the rules are not there to protect him, or his people, but to enslave them. A revolution is brewing, and Aaron is being drawn into it, whether he likes it or not. The Ember Blade is the key, the Sword of Kings, the Excalibur of his people, but is locked in an impenetrable vault in the most heavily guarded fortress in the land. All they have to do is steal it. Sounds exciting. Next up, We Are the Dead by Mike Shackle. Gia's people learned the hard way that there are no second chances. The Egro, their ancient enemy, struck with magic so devastating that Gia's armies were wiped out. Now terror reigns in the streets, and friend turns on friend just to live another day. Somehow, Tinstra, a deserter, a failure, nothing but a coward, survived. She wants no more than to hide from the chaos, but dragged into a desperate plot to take Gia, surrounded by people willing to do anything to win the fight. This time Tinstra will need to do more than hide. If Gia is to get a second chance after all, this time she will need to be a hero. Sounds, again, can't wait to get to this. And this cover is amazing. Excuse me. The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. For generations, the fleets of the 100 Isles have built their ships from the bones of ancient dragons to fight an endless war. The dragons disappeared, but the battles for supremacy persisted. Now the first dragon in centuries has been spotted in far-off waters, and both sides see a chance to shift the balance of power in their favor. because whoever catches it will win not only glory, but the war. And finally, the Still Crow Saga by Paul Kruger. A soldier with a curse. Tala lost her family to the Empress's army and has spent her life avenging them in battle. But the Empress's crimes don't haunt her half as much as the crimes Tala has committed against the laws of magic and against her own flesh and blood. A prince with a debt. Jimuro has inherited the ashes of an empire. Now that the revolution has brought down his kingdom, he must depend on Tala to bring him home safe. But it was his army who murdered her family. Tala will be his redemption or his downfall. A detective with a grudge. Julin is an eccentric, pipe-smoking detective who can solve any mystery, but the biggest mystery of all is her true identity. She's a princess in disguise, and she plans to secure her throne by presenting her father with the ultimate prize, the world's most wanted prince. A thief with a broken heart. Lee is a small-time criminal who lives by only one law: leave them before they leave you. But when Princess Yulin asks her to be her partner in crime and offers her magical animal companion as a reward, she can't say no, and she soon finds she doesn't want to leave the princess behind. This band of rogues and royals should all be enemies, but they unite for a common purpose: to defeat an unstoppable killer who defies the laws of magic. In this battle, they will forge unexpected bonds of friendship and love that will change their lives and begin to change the world. Sounds exciting, and again, can't wait to get to it. So, that was the book haul for November. I hopefully won't have any more books to add, but you never know, I might find a book I want to buy and just go and buy it. Anyway, so now I need to go add these and the fantasy books and science fiction books I picked up from the Friends at the Light book sale onto my library catalog and go put them on the shelves. It's going to be a long day. Thank you, BookTube.